The SSDI and SSI, the startling revelation right now in this video. I want to share with you the specifics of a study that was released with a focus on SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, and SSI, Supplemental Security Income. Let's get started and examine all the information. Welcome to Updates Area Channel. Information is somewhat stunning, but I don't believe that many of us are all that startled to hear it. So let's get started and discuss what they're currently saying. Let's dive right in and discuss the specifics of this study and what it implications for SSI and SSDI. Beneficiaries and how these programs are failing a lot of people out there in the entire country, as well as what needs to be done about it. Alright, so this is actually a really interesting report that spans over about 27 years of time. In order to clearly understand how these programs are working and how many people are currently, regrettably, not receiving the benefits that they actually require as a result of these programs, let's go back 27 years. As I mentioned earlier, this is quite surprising. It's shocking information, but we're not really surprised to hear it. So let me again break down all these numbers and details for you so you can understand what's really going on here. Based on this report, and again, in-depth research over the course of about 27 years. On both of these programs, SSDI and SSI, which, incidentally, are both of these programs are going out to those people who are disabled, right? They have disabilities that prevent them from entering the workforce, or working at the capacity that they probably want to. So that's what these programs are focused on, encompassing millions upon millions of people. Benefits are satisfactory. So let's travel all the way back to 1998, back in the good old days. Okay, let's travel back to 1998. Here is what they discovered in their study. 33 of the persons with impairments who are preventing them from going out and working, at least as much as they could if they wanted to. Only 33% of those with disabilities at the time were actually receiving SSDI or SSI benefits, which means that 67 out of those who had impairments that prevented them from working as much as they wanted to were not. This is a huge problem because only 33% of those with disabilities at the time were actually receiving benefits. Here's what the report shows if we fast forward all the way out to the year 2016, right? So what is that 18 years later? 1/3 of people who actually had disabilities back in 1998 were actually getting benefits from one of these two programs. They discovered that during that same period, only 47 of those with disabilities who were unable to work as much as they would have liked were actually receiving benefits, which simply means that 53% of those who should have been receiving benefits during that period were not. 53 people who should have been receiving benefits were not receiving them for an unknown reason, which is yet another enormously high number. Alright, let's bring it up to the present day, where only 47 or barely half of those who were eligible for benefits in 2016 actually did. Present time, right here. Right now in 2023, this is what they discovered. 54 of those folks who have infirmities that prevent them from working at the level they would like to are actually receiving benefits from these programs, so 54 are good and a great little number. Only 54 of the people who are actually eligible for these benefits, or, to be more precise, who should be receiving benefits from these programs, are actually receiving benefits, so this is actually still demonstrating that even now, in the year 2023. This is an improvement over 2016 and a pretty nice improvement over the year of 1998. However, they also discovered that 20% of SSDI beneficiaries are living in poverty, which is a staggering number. They also discovered that 46% of those who should be receiving benefits from either SSI or SDI are not receiving them for an unknown reason. As a result of these advantages, I've discussed this before in other videos. But in my honest opinion, I think that 20 is actually pretty low. I think it's probably a lot higher than that. But that's what's happening. 20% of SSDI beneficiaries are still living in poverty despite receiving these ongoing monthly checks. Just what they're reporting here in this report. And once more, I want to give you the specifics as they're reporting now. They also discovered 53 SSI beneficiaries are living in poverty right now in 2023 while receiving these ongoing monthly checks. Again, we've discussed this in previous videos. Let's take a look at the federal poverty line. SSI beneficiaries currently need to make a little over $1,200 per month, so if you make $914 per month, you fall only $300 short of the federal poverty level each month. This is how I look at it and how I calculated it. So once again, based on the federal poverty line as of now in 2023, it appears to me that a significant portion of almost all SSI beneficiaries would be living in poverty as a result of their benefit, because it is significantly below the federal poverty line at about $300 a month. Regardless, it is evident that a significant portion of those receiving SSI and SSDI benefits live significantly below the federal poverty line, with many of them living at or below the federal poverty level on a monthly basis. There are millions upon millions of people now, but they also discovered that 1.3 million people are currently waiting to. 1.3 million people are waiting to find out whether they will receive benefits or not for SSDI or SSII, with many of them likely having no income or very little income due to a disability at the moment. Currently, there are pending applications for both programs and there are appeals ongoing. Keep in mind that the aim of SSDI and SSIE, the two programs, is to help persons with impairments. SSDI Social Security disability insurance benefits were first made available in the mid-1950s, in 1956. Keep in mind that Social Security as a whole was established in 1935, or roughly 88 years ago. SSDI began in 1956 and SSI began in 1972. Okay, so these programs have been for a very, very long time, many decades. For instance, SII has existed for 51 years. SSD, how many years is that? I believe it is 66. Am I correct? Maybe. 67 years again, if my calculation is correct. These programs have been operating for a very long period. But even now, after all these years and decades, beneficiaries are still being failed by them. There are 1.3 million people waiting, wondering if they would receive assistance. Be approved for my application once more, and I'm eagerly awaiting the board letter informing me that, hey, congratulations. You're going to be receiving benefits from Social Security and one of these programs, or in some cases, you might actually receive benefits from both of them. Concurrent claims are a real thing, and I've discussed both of them in a separate video. We can talk about that in greater detail in a separate video. But I thought this report was pretty interesting, and you can again see it going in that direction. From 1998 to 2016 to the present, improvements have been made, but realistically, many people who should be receiving benefits from these programs are still waiting. It's a sad state of affairs, but this is the reality of what's happening, and we've made improvements. Waited a year and a half, 2 years, or something similar to wait for your award letter to actually get approved for SSDI benefits. It happens all the time. I've seen this for a very long time now. The wait lists and the application process are very drawn out. The agreement with SSDI benefits is appropriate at this time for many people. You can certainly submit an application, but it's likely that you won't hear back for several months, possibly even a year, which is frequently a quick response time for most people. If you are rejected, you can appeal the decision, which opens up a whole new can of worms and can take a very long time. You may also need to go back and forth several times while seeking legal counsel in some cases. This is a drawn-out procedure. As you can see here, these programs are excellent. Don't get me wrong. They assist a lot of people, but ultimately they're failing a lot of people as well. So nevertheless, when I came across this study, I thought it was quite interesting and I wanted to share it with you. I prefer to draw your attention to findings like this so that we can clearly understand what's happening and how these programs are excellent but also seriously failing some individuals. In addition, benefits are still considerably below where they should be for the vast majority of participants. Many thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video and decided to follow the channel. I'll see you again soon.